So I don't know if you guys remember this girl.
TikTok.
She did a video when the flood happened down the flash flood happened down in Texas. I don't know her name, and even if I did, I don't know if I'm not trying to promote her. I'm going to show you guys the content she's been making, and it's absolutely disgusting. And the reason why I do want to show it is I just want to show you like what's out there, and this is mostly on TikTok and Twitter, now X, formerly Twitter, and she is just unbelievable. And this is where she's at today. This is her response to the backlash from her video.
TikTok. Right now, today, July 12th, 2025, there is this man and several other people who are driving around right now looking for my house. They are on live. They're also looking for my farmer's market. They're trying to intimidate me, harass me, and possibly unalive me.
I don't believe any of that.
And I need y'all to understand how serious this is. This is not a joke. And y'all also need to understand that this is not about those children. Okay? They are using that as a shield just to exercise their racism and white supremacy. That is it. Okay? It has never been about those children. This is about white supremacy, period. Okay? These people are trying to find me. They've already doxed me. I need y'all to understand, if this is one of my last videos, then so be it.
So at the end of the video, she like clacks a pistol. And I don't know what that means. Means what? That she's armed. I don't think this woman has shot a gun in a day in her life. She has another video that's out there where she is at a firing range and she like shoots the target, but then does a whole separate video of like a nice grouping and center mass in the target. And we know full well. Well, I mean, I guess we don't know for sure, but I believe that she edited it because it's two separate videos. If you really wanted to show someone how good of a shot you are, you're going to shoot it and then show the target come back up into the frame, and then show what you did. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about just the race baiting that she's doing. Like, look, she effed up. And she knew she was effing up because when she made the video, she even said, like, you guys can go ahead and cancel me, do what you got to do. But, these white girls were racist, and, their parents provided a whites only camp for them. And, they did this, and this is what they get. Their punishment is to lose all those beautiful young girls, which it was a Christian camp, those beautiful young Christian daughters of mine in the flood. And what did she expect was going to happen? Let's just say all of what she's saying right now is true. What did she expect? And I'm not saying that if it is true that it's okay that these grown men are driving by her house or doxing her or threatening violence or anything to her. But I do think she deserves to be canceled. End of story. And I don't participate in cancel culture, but if you say ugly things, if you race bait and do these things, I think the public has a right to respond. Free speech begets free speech, right? I just made that up. I don't know if that's been said before, if that's something I've heard, but but that's where it needs to end. I don't think she deserves to be doxxed or to be harassed or to feel threatened. But if there are people harassing her and doing what they're doing, I assure you it's not because of the color of her skin. It's for what she said. Yeah, are there crazies out there? 1,000,000%. Is it possible that that's happening? I think she's probably stretching the truth a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not living her experience. It very well could be happening. And if it is, it should be shut down right now. And the authorities need to be involved, and those guys should be arrested for harassment. Absolutely. Doesn't make what she said right. You know, in the beginning, it is what it is. Here, take a look at this.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this.
This is what she
Camp
did.
Mystic is a whites only girls Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going. Period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now. But you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting.
Oh my God. It would be getting, I feel like it would probably be getting more coverage. Because, you know, if it was a bunch of Hispanic girls, let's say first generation American citizens, or even not American citizens, I don't think because we have issues down at the border that it wouldn't be getting covered with the same, if not more, coverage, and the same amount of heartbreak would be said if those little girls were Hispanic girls. Look, my daughters are Hispanic, 3/4 Hispanic. I'm not saying that because to say that I'm biased about it, and that I'm sure that that's what would be happening. I know that's what would be happening. The racism that she says that exists in this situation or in this country right now, it doesn't exist, because we want to have border control, just like every other country mostly in the world has. We wouldn't be happy that, or not cover that, if those girls were black or Hispanic or, you know, Asian. It would be getting the same amount of coverage. Put a 3 in the chat if you agree with me, if you can, about that it would be getting the same coverage. And if you don't believe that, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see where you guys kind of fall on this with what I just said. Yeah, because I don't know if you guys ever watch Cash Kelly, but Cash Kelly is an African American. He's a January 6er, and he goes out there and he like just takes his phone into random situations, and he talks to people, to all races, and he's like, and he asks them like, hey, he asks them like about racial tensions, and you know what, it always, and it's never not ended with a hug. And he's a big black dude out there asking these random strangers how they feel about the climate in America. You know what? And he cannot find, I mean, literally, he cannot find anyone that feels as racist as a lot of creators, news media outlets would lead the country to believe in what they report on. Now, that's not saying that racism doesn't exist. of course it exists, but what I think he's trying to prove is it doesn't exist to the level that's being reported. Like this lady saying, you know, if these were Mexican girls, we wouldn't give a shit. That it wouldn't effing matter. It wouldn't be getting the same coverage. I would say it would be getting more coverage, and for all the right reasons. Absolutely. Hey, Cliff Ann, good to see you. So good to see you. We need to, Happy Camper says, sometimes people actually go off on the race card. Yeah, they do. Absolutely. We need to see specific info. I'm not Caucasian. I can't read that. For your information. Yeah. I agree. I think I agree if I'm understanding what you just said. Sometimes people actually go off on the race card. Yes, they do. We need to see specific info. I'm not Caucasian, for your information. Yeah, I really don't understand the comment, but thank you for making the comment. I understand the first part, not the second. If you could, please elaborate just a little bit, just so my feeble mind can understand your intelligent comment. That really is what it is. We got some threes. Case Netflix show about it. Most people see it as beta. It's not beta? Is it beta? Please let me know, beta or beta. That's crazy. I'm just reading your guys' conversation. I'm being very intrusive right now. I mean, this community is a loving, fair community. So I believe you guys believe my what I'm saying about this situation. It's she's just baiting, and she just wants to keep making outlandish content that will get a ton of clicks, and it did. And now that she's getting canceled, which she even said in her video, I know I'm going to get canceled for this, but I'm going to say it anyways because I just can't hold it in. I mean, I do believe she believes that, but I just, she's only putting it on TikTok or wherever the hell she puts her stuff for clicks. And, I'm not one to always say that people do shit for clicks, but and I think in this situation, she absolutely does. Here's an interview after this.
No one would give a and all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada yada yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East Texas and to make a all-white enclave exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic.
I really don't think that the campground is a white enclave. That's a pretty bold statement to say that it's an enclave, that it's exclusionary. There's absolutely no proof at all that it's exclusionary Camp Mystic. I should, what? I really wasn't planning on even presenting this today, but expect a follow-up on this. I'm going to look into Camp Mystic and to see what their website actually says, and to see if there's any, exclusionary, and I'll even look for any like dog whistling exclusionary information on their website, and I'll be the first to tell you if it seems racist or not, or exclusionary, or if it's like a white enclave. It's really ugly at what she's saying.
Many people in East Texas, somehow, some way, you have carved out an all whites only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy.
It's no shade
for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members.
And meanwhile, you're donating to Carmelo Anthony or some shitty situation to where you're donating just based on race, or you can have an exclusionary, black school, whatever the situation may be. And this is absolutely not that. Well, I can't say absolutely because I really haven't looked into it yet, but I just don't think those places exist. Maybe I'm being naive about it. I don't know.
Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all.
Wait, there's concentration camps in? I didn't know that.
Get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
You ain't a victim, girl. You were bad enough to get on there and talk crazy like that, then you should be bad enough to take the repercussions.
That's absolutely true. She needs to take the repercussions, as said by my friend Tatum, Officer Tatum, which you guys should go check out his channel. It's an amazing channel. Just remember, guys, when we do talk about racial issues like we are today, that the chat has to be respectful, and I haven't seen any disrespect or anything like that, but just be careful on what you say. You can say your viewpoint, absolutely, even if it's if it's a race. We just can't be racists or express a love of racism for your race. You can have white or racial pride, be proud to be black, be proud to be Native American. That's absolutely okay. But we don't allow racism or any homophobia in the community. All right, let's see what else.
You reconcile?
She just did this interview yesterday.
Your partner, who is a white male, has publicly disavowed your comments. How do you reconcile your partner who's supposed to have your back? You got the whole public, you got the.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, she's married to a white guy. Man, I totally forgot this part of it. She's married to a white pastor of a church. Let that sink in for a second. She's married to a white pastor, and she came out with these racial comments. So that leads me to believe that she doesn't really believe what she's saying. And that she's saying it just for clicks and views, which makes it just as ugly. That would be like me denying the Holocaust, even though I know it absolutely to be true. But if I go on Twitter and be a big Holocaust denier, I'm probably going to get a lot of clicks because how ugly a statement like that would be, or a belief like that would be. It would be super ugly. So yeah, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah, she's married to a white pastor of a church. Let me get back to this interview.
Whole country, the entire seem like the world coming down on you right now, and instead of your husband saying, oh, not your husband, but your partner saying, I got you back.
Oh, she's not married to him.
Quietly, I don't know about that, Sade, but publicly, hey, I got you back. Instead of him saying that, he decides that, I'm going to publicly disavow what she said. And have y'all had a comment? Well, I'm sure y'all had a conversation about that. What was that conversation like?
Well, he has a boss too. He has people he has to answer to as well. And the situation with Unitarian Universalists, right? These are supposed to be the good white folks, right? But as you can see, once that white supremacist ire is faced on them, they gonna back down as well. They can't really handle it like that. Meanwhile, black churches get bomb threats and get shot up and stuff all the time. So it basically comes down to he has a boss too, and the people at the top.
All the time? No. Maybe in the 40s or the 50s or whenever that was happening. I think it just happened for a little while. And even then, when there absolutely was racism rampant, I mean, there still is racism. I'm not denying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying when it was like, whites only bathrooms and drinking fountains and things like that, that was ugly. And churches were being bombed, and there were a lot of shootings and corruption.
Did not like the comments or whatever. They really didn't like the comments, and I'll get to that later. They didn't like the video or whatever, and this was their opportunity. I feel, if you're supposed to be so anti-racist, instead of throwing a black woman under the bus, this is their opportunity to shift the focus back on what I actually said, instead of letting the white supremacists control the narrative. The white supremacists want to focus on she called him.
No, it's your narrative. No one's trying to control your narrative. It's your narrative. We're just reporting on your narrative and telling you how ugly it is.
And whatnot. That was a statement made after I'd been doxxed, after I've had a slew of racist hate emails, texts, comments, people threatening to hang me, people threatening to, come to my house, people threatening to do all sorts of stuff and whatnot. And I reacted in that way. And yes, I could have chosen my words better and whatnot, but
whatnot.
This is such a common thing when it's like white people don't even see the white mob. The white mob is allowed to be a mob, and they're allowed to hurl rocks and everything at you and spit at you and whatnot, but it's your reaction.
My sister says whatnot all the time, so I just wanted to put that out there. She does. She goes, and whatnot, Sammy? I'm like, yeah, I know, sis. I know what.
You're supposed to just walk into the schoolhouse with your head down and don't engage or anything like that. And I feel like I can't really do that. And I'm not trying to fight the whole world or anything like that, but it's like the focus should be on the white supremacists who are attacking me. And as far as the church goes, I feel like
she has shown no proof that that's even happening. Not saying it's not happening and that's not her truth, and but she just hasn't shown any proof of that. I would be like, look at these emails I'm getting. This shit needs to stop.
Missed an opportunity to actually do the right thing and to stand in the truth that they claim to hold. They do claim that they are anti-racist and this is that and the third, and they have done a lot of positive work. And I'm not just talking about this church in particular. I'm talking about Unitarians all together. They have done a lot of positive work out there, but it's still a mainly white institution. They still have their white supremacy and stuff that they need to unpack as well. And this is my partner. I'm not a member of the church. I do not go to the church. So yeah, this is just my partner.
That's bizarre.
Right now, today, July 12th, 2025. There is this man and several other people who are driving around right now looking for my house. They are on live. They're also looking for my farmer's market. They're trying.
I just really feel like she would, because she's saying they're on live and they're doing this live, and she's getting all these. I don't know. I want to see some proof. If she shows proof of that, I will stand right behind her, or next to her, and be like you fools need to shut that shit down for real, because what she said is ugly, but we do have free speech in America. And she wasn't threatening violence. She just said what she said, as ugly as it was. She does have the right to say it, and she doesn't deserve to be harassed or threatened or in fear for her life. 1,000,000%. I know you guys are probably, she's giving me a headache too, Kim. Thanks. Kim said, I that's so funny. I love you guys so much. Kim says she's giving me a headache. Yeah, I agree. Grateful says $100. She never wore that Harvard or knows anyone that did. I was gonna say something about that. I know for a fact. Well, I shouldn't say shit like that. Not as a creator, and the internet's forever, and people can take my words and say this fool said he knew that for a fact. I should never say that. I don't know for a fact. But if I was going to do a video and I wanted to present myself as intelligent and smart, and, being persecuted by, the angry white man, I would definitely wear I wouldn't be wearing my, my AC/DC shirt or my Metallica, concert jersey. I would wear, a college shirt if I had one, a Harvard shirt. Just so it just adds to the she's trying just to add to like her credibility and to her, I'm just not some, ghetto black chick, which I don't think she is. I don't, but she's trying to, say that she's not by wearing that Harvard shirt. But I agree 1,000%. I do. Well, looky there. God, I can barely see today. Grateful says exactly, Sam. Sandra, help me. Hey, Sandra, good to see you. I'm glad you're here for the show. I'm just going into the chat to kind of see what you guys are talking about. Our definition of white supremacy is pretty close to yeah, that's right. Ben Bacon Pitts. Hey, good morning, Ben. Says her definition of white supremacy is pretty close to Brett Miller's. Anyone who disagrees with her or his or her statements. That's right. Oh, Brett. The hate channels. We're all hate channels, and he's the only one on YouTube that loves. That's those are his words. He's done entire shows about it. Meanwhile, in the background, it's F you, Sam. I'm a junkie. Anyways, don't get me started over here. Why is color being brought up? Lives are what matters. Good morning, Jackie. It's good to see you. Jackie Zura says, why is color being brought up? It's lives that is what matters. Absolutely. Here on After the Bars, we have done previous shows about exactly that. All lives matter, 1,000%. But I've said some things when I'm reporting on things like this, and that people can say like, oh, look, I knew Sam was racist or whatever. I'm a Chicano racist, or whatever they want to say, or it's only been said once, if I'm honest, that I know of. And so we do have to be careful on how we talk about this subject, because it's easy to take things out of context, but it's also easy. And I lost my train of thought because I was thinking of the situation, but when you're, even when you say, all lives matter and color doesn't matter, people can say, oh, well, you're just, now you're not just letting us be proud of who we are, that we're, I'm like, and you're just like, what? No, we're just saying we all need to love each other and be kind and intrusively so, and not even see skin color but maybe see the culture and appreciate the culture, but we don't have to appreciate, disrespect though, from any culture, from whites. Like I've talked about the disrespect that happens at my Walmart, and I start to feel racist against, the, and it's really my class, like the lower, or it's the higher poor class, but the lower middle class, like the real lower middle class. I get, when they start acting out, in public, I'm talking about white people. I feel like a racism, a class racism, in a sense, but knowing that everyone is God's children, and I love them just the same. But when I get judgy, I guess is what I'm saying, and I'm explaining the shit out of this. When I get judgy about situations and with people, it seems like that it's racism, I guess, in a sense, but it's really classism. Is that even a thing? And I'm in the same class, it's really just disrespect. I'm gonna end it on that, because I'm just beating myself up over this, overthinking about it. Why, I am just surprised I have one viewer, for real. I am. The Mayhem Report should be called the Idiot Report. All right. But a lot of the people in this community have gone and came and gone. So I guess they try to give me a second chance. I don't know. But I'm just glad you guys are all here. What is it? Oh, I want that name for my show. Oh, the Idiot Report. Yeah. I'll make you an overlay, Ben. Which I'm still trying to get that show together with, like, maybe me, you, John, and Lord Kiss Freak and James Collins Cares. Maybe we can all just, like, well, we can't. I don't know if we could make that a music show, because I don't know how much those guys love music. Well, John loves music, so we could do it with that. But I don't know about prog music, which is really what all I want to talk about is prog music. Bueno. Let's say a black shirt. Yeah, you can say a black shirt. You can say yeah, colored shirt. Oh man, that shirt's colored. Oh man, I remember my first wife, not the one that was unalive, but or killed by a drunk driver. We went to see her grandpa. This is like in 1987, maybe 88. I was young, man. I was young, and we were just dating, and I was meeting her grandparents for the first time, and we were watching college football, and her grandpa loved football, man. He was a fanatic, and that's how we bonded, because I was a super fan at that time too. I mean, I'm still a super fan. You can't see all my football memorabilia, but on the other side of these screens is all my football stuff. And he said, he's like, man, that color boy sure can run. He said it just like that. And I was like, I'm from LA, and I've lived in a very diverse, schools, and blacks, Mexicans, Asians, like equally mixed, probably less whites than, all the rest, and really a minority in my school. Absolutely. So I had never heard that kind of racism, that old, white man who maybe he would say that he's not racist because he's not out there going, fuck, these people or F these people. But saying something like that, oh, that color boy sure can run. It sounded so racist to me. And it took me aback for a second because I had never experienced it. And I was like, whoa. But I hadn't experienced a lot of things yet in my life at that point. But I talked about that for a long time, and I really struggled with it. Like whenever we had discussions about anything, that always stuck in my head, how like it just tripped me out that old school racism that I'd never seen, I guess, and that it exists, well, at least it did in the 80s. A lot of that generation is unfortunately dying off, fortunately, or I don't want to say fortunately, but unfortunately, is dying off. And there was a lot of great men, white and black, back then, that went to World War II and fought, and just a crazy time in our world where being American was you were proud, super proud to be an American, even when that racism did exist. I think everyone, including African Americans and Asians, were super proud and felt grateful that they could at least live in this country, no matter what oppression they were feeling of any race. There was different oppressions that white people experienced back then. It could have been poverty or whatever, and they lived through that, and they lived through that while building and improving the infrastructure of our country, and planning it out, with the designs of from everything from a little village town to a city to a county to a state to a country, that it was all engineered to fit like a puzzle, and to improve our commerce and to do all the things that it does, to expand from the railroad to a road system. They're just an amazing generation that has passed away, and I'm grateful to be an American and to live in this country, and to have lived at the end of that great generation, to have met some of those amazing people of all races. And so I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Synchronized Souls podcast, good to see you. Hell yeah. Zoe's in the house. Anyways, Jackie Zer, man, it really is good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, no way. Where's that going on? Oh, man, I got to go back to this user conference. I just love when they have speakers teaching software who can't communicate in English. Where is that? Send me a link to that, will you, Ben, please? I would love to check that out. Zoe in the house. That's right. Zoe's in the house. Hey, Zoe, that's your special sound just for you. No one else gets that sound.
There's a man named Sam who stands